Imagine a world where speaking in front of a group of people no longer scares you. Well, I went from being this kid who was so scared of public speaking that I would run to the toilet 10 minutes before just to wipe all the sweat off my forehead, my forearms, and my belly, to now giving speeches and being unfazed and being confident and actually enjoying the process. But what made the difference? This right here, the LMH system, which I'm going to go through in this video. If you want your own version of this poster, check out the first link below and I will send it over to you. And you can go through this poster as I'm going through this video. But before I go into that, most people get it wrong, because I did. I thought the reason that I wasn't confident giving a public speech because I didn't have the skill of communication. But don't you think it's weird how you can speak to your best friend completely fine? Your ideas flow, it feels natural. But then when you've got to get up on a stage or talk to your boss or give a presentation at work, it doesn't. It feels like you can't get the skills that you possess. It feels like you can't access them. And because you can't access them, you can't showcase your knowledge, your expertise, and your message. And because you can't do that, it makes it very uncomfortable for you. But that proves one thing, that skill is not your issue. Performing under pressure is. Because when you're speaking to your best friend, there is no pressure whatsoever. But when you're speaking in front of random people, there's some sort of pressure. The stakes are higher. And that's why you need to expose your fear. You don't need to work on more theory, because you can work on all the theory in the world. You need to work on the application. It's the same with fighting. When you want to learn how to fight, you can do all the bag work in the world, all the footwork in the world, all the pad work in the world. But if you don't apply that in a sparring situation, you won't feel more comfortable when it comes to proper combat, because you've never applied the skills and the technique that you've learned in higher stakes. And that's why we're going to use this system. But let me get my iPad. Now, building your exposure in your communication is the same as building your fitness. We're going to look at it as a pyramid scheme. If you want to be a fit individual, the way you do that is not by doing loads of sprints at the top end, it's by building a big foundation. The bigger foundation, the bigger the peak. It's the same with exposing yourself. That's why the first level of this pyramid scheme is the L. L meaning low. Low is just you. You might think, what do you mean just you? It's doing activities where it's only you in your presence. But why? Well, when you're doing these, you're not going to have people around you judging you. Because no one's around you judging you, you don't care if you make a mistake. Like if I tell you to speak in front of a mirror, you'd be completely fine doing it. If you mess up, you don't care. But if I told you to speak on a stage doing the same thing, it's going to feel a bit intimidating. You're going to get nervous. Your palms are going to sweat. Your stomach's going to churn. Why? Because people are there and people are judging you, which is why before we do anything, we start with the low stakes environments. We start with activities which are just for you. I'm going to give you one example from the poster. I can't give you all because that's just giving you all the sauce without you putting your email in. Because yes, if you're wondering, I want your email address, which is why I'm going to send you this. I'm just straight up. But you're going to record yourself. Record yourself speaking because you can articulate your thoughts and get used to speaking on camera, because you can imagine this camera as a person when we get down into medium stakes and high stakes activities. And it's by articulating your thoughts in your own space, in your own presence, that you'll start to become more comfortable when you get to doing it in front of other people. But the main thing here, when you fail, it does not matter. No one is there in your ear laughing at you. No one's there looking at you weirdly. It's just you and your presence. But that moves me on to the next stage of the pyramid. The next stage, oh, that's a rubber. Let's get on the pen. The next stage is M. M for medium. Medium is a few, where a few people are present. One activity from this poster is smiling and locking eyes with a stranger and giving them a compliment. But why is this going to help you with your public speaking? Well, number one, you're speaking to a random person. And with public speaking, you end up speaking to random people. Number two, you have to approach someone and compliment them on what they are wearing or what they look like. Why is that good? You're giving, you're not taking, and that's what public speaking is. It's giving. So it's getting you used to giving when the stakes are a little bit lower. And number three, there is only one person there. It's you and someone else. So if you mess up your words, if you trip over your tongue, there's only one person to see, and you're never going to see that person ever again in your life. So if you do mess up, it is completely fine. But because you're giving, they won't care if you mess up. and you shouldn't care either. But it's only by getting used to low stakes, then medium stakes, that you can move on to the last pillar, which is high stakes. High is all eyes on you. An example of a high stake activity is join a community like Toastmasters. And the reason this is so good is because everyone is there to learn. Everyone is there to improve their confidence with public speaking. It gives you a real chance to apply your skills, to try and showcase your skills under a little bit more pressure. That's not going to be enough to improve your public speaking confidence. What you need to do is this. You're going to find your comfort zone right here. And once you know your comfort zone, you're going to pick one activity, and only one activity that is slightly above your comfort zone, which is right here. And you're going to do that activity until it starts to become comfortable. Because now, this right here is your new comfort zone. And same again, you're going to pick a new activity. You're going to do that activity until it starts to become comfortable. That is your new comfort zone. And it's by repeating this cycle that you will start to be able to perform under pressure, because you've exposed yourself to more pressure over time, higher stakes over time. And that is how you actually implement this strategy. Now, the first time that I had to compliment a stranger, I just had to tell myself, stop being a pussy, Staff, just do it. These exercises aren't going to be comfortable at the start, but it's only by doing it that you find the confidence to do it again and do it again. The first time that I complimented a stranger, I felt so nervous. But after doing it, I got the confidence to do it one more, and then one more, and then one more. And then it became comfortable. I was ready to move on to the next task. But it's only by finding that fuck it energy that you'll be able to start even doing this cycle. It's not going to be easy, but it is simple. It's simple to follow and it's simple to do, but it will take some guts to get the first move going. But once the ball is rolling, it is so much easier to complete these tasks and become confident. Because once you can do that, you'll be able to speak to that group of people how you speak to your best friend, and you'll be able to access the skills, the knowledge, and the expertise that you have in those high pressure situations and high stakes situations, just because you've exposed yourself to those situations more and you become comfortable in performing under the pressure. So it's not abnormal anymore, it's the norm. And like I said, that poster is in the link below. I have 18 exercises on this poster that you can use as inspiration to help with this system. And although building competence is very important at work, if you want the ability to inspire and influence people with what you say, you need to watch this video. Anyway, see you later on.